The one man whose hands were especially responsible for the spreading of Iranian terror and anti-Israel attacks was the Iranian general Zahedi. He oversaw and empowered the anti-Israel networks of terror throughout the region. And those close to the Iranian government, they hailed him, they praised him as being the one behind October 7th, the invasion of Israel, the massacres. Could he be a vessel of the Tsar Paras, an instrument, an embodiment of this entity? Could he be linked to the Tsar Paras? Well, I didn't tell you last time, but the word Tsar, as in Tsar Paras, is also translated in the Bible as, listen, general. Tsar Paras can be translated as the Iranian general. Zahedi was actually a Tsar Paras, an Iranian general, undoubtedly led, motivated by the actual Tsar Paras. So when Israel struck him down, the Iranian general, they were striking down a Tsar Paras. And that's why when they struck him down, Iran went crazy and launched over 300 missiles into Israel, its first direct attack on Israel. The other Tsar Paras, well, there was another one. There was another vessel, another agent and instrument of the Tsar Paras, this spirit, this demonic spirit. What was his name? Ibrahim Raisi. Ibrahim Raisi was the president of Iran under the Ayatollah. He was the ruler of Iran. Well, Tsar Paras could be translated also as ruler of Iran. Raisi was also a Tsar Paras. And he was over General Zahedi. He was behind General Zahedi. He was behind the attack on Israel. He was a dark agent, a minister of death, as demonic entities are linked to death and destruction. So Raisi's own people call him the Butcher. And he was the one who threatened death and destruction to Israel. The Tsar Paras is a spiritual being. The Apostle Paul said, "We war not against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, rulers in the heavenly places." The enemy is called the prince of the power of the air. The heavens or the sky is a symbol of the spiritual realm. So Raisi went up into the air, into the heavenlies, into the sky, and there was struck down to the ground. I told you at the beginning, his first name, Ibrahim, comes from literally Abraham, the father of the people he's tried to destroy, and the center of the Abrahamic covenant. That he violated that, he paid the price. But what about his last name, Raisi? It was shortened to Raisi, but what does Raisi mean? Raisi is a Persian word that comes from Arabic. Now, I told you the word Tsar, as in Tsar Paras, the demonic entity, means chief or ruler and other things. What does Raisi mean? Raisi means chief or ruler. In other words, Tsar. And it's in Persian. So it's the Persian chief or ruler, the Tsar Paras, the Lord of Persia, the president of Iran. What was Raisi? He was the ruler of Iran. He was the other Tsar Paras, led by the actual Tsar Paras, and he was struck down from the sky. The counterstrike. You see, behind world events, the movement of nations, behind world news is a war of spirits, a war waged in the spiritual realm. Now, did you notice something? On the same day, the same exact day, when the news came out that the leader of Iran was struck down, the World Court in The Hague, in Europe, sought to strike down the leader of Israel's prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. They declared him a criminal on the day and called for a warrant for his arrest. Can you imagine that? They have never called for a warrant for like people like the dictator of North Korea, with the brutal, bloody dictators of the world, or the leader of China and others who have killed hundreds of thousands or millions of their own people. Never. That wasn't a problem. But the leader of Israel. And on all days, on the same exact day that the leader of Iran, Tsar Paras, was struck down, a strike was launched by the leaders of the world on Israel's leader. When one leader is struck, the other leader. You know, Tsar can mean leader. So when one earthly Tsar, leader of Persia, struck down, when the news came out, the other earthly leader, leader of Israel, they launch a strike against him. It's the battle of two kingdoms playing out in real time on the news in the modern world. It's part of the world turning against Israel. Just 2 days later, after that, 3 Western nations announced they are recognizing Palestine in defiance of Israel. It's all in alignment with what the Bible says. This anti-Israel rage all over the world, also part of this spiritual war, and now on American campuses, all of it, all goes with what the Bible says. That at the end of the age, all nations will come against Israel. And when they come, so will Messiah. Michael. This brings us to the other entity. The angel who speaks with the prophet Daniel tells him, the Tsar Paras withstood me, but Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. Michael. Who's Michael? In English, Michael. Who is he? Angel of God, chief angel of God, called right here. That's where we call him archangel because of what it says here and in Revelation. Michael in this prophecy is also called Tsar, a ruler, a general, a fighter, a prince. And he fights against the other Tsar, the Tsar Paras, the Tsar of Persia, of Iran. And then the angel calls him, Michael says he's your prince, Daniel, your Tsar, your angel, your meaning Israel. He is the prince of your people. In Daniel 12, he says, then Michael, the Tsar, the prince, the ruler, the general, the angel, who stands for your people, which people? Israel, will at that time of tribulation stand up for Israel. So what CNN will never tell you, on top of everything we just shared, what MSNBC could never tell you, the truth is there is more to the world than we see with our eyes. Behind the nation of Persia, Iran, is the Tsar Paras, a demonic entity bent on stopping the purposes of God and destroying the nation of Israel in the last days. But behind the nation of Israel is another spiritual being, another Tsar, Michael the Prince, the Tsar of Israel. And so these two entities are at war. That's right there in Daniel, in the spiritual realm. So what would you expect to happen in the natural realm if these spiritual entities standing for each nation are at war? We would expect that the two nations they represent would become mortal enemies. So they have. We'd expect the two nations be drawn to war against each other, to battle. So they have. What happens on earth mirrors what happens in the heavenlies. It is the spiritual realm that determines the physical realm. That's why Iran is so obsessed with Israel, because its entity, its Tsar, is obsessed with Israel and battling the Tsar Yisrael, the Prince of Israel. That's why Israel stands against Iran, because its Tsar, its angel, wars against and stands against the Tsar Paras. That's why Israel, without knowing, struck down an actual Tsar Paras, an Iranian general, which is translated Tsar Paras. That's why Iran, led by the Tsar Paras, a demonic spirit, sent missiles into the skies of Israel. Now remember, the spiritual realm is linked to the heavenlies. The heavens, the sky, it's a symbol of that realm. So the Tsar Paras caused those missiles to enter the heavenly places, the skies of Israel. But when the Tsar Paras attacks Israel, Michael defends Israel, strikes down the attack. So of all those missiles, none caused any major harm. They were all struck down from the sky of Israel. But now look what happened to the Iranian leader, Raisi. The Iranian Tsar, he was also in the heavenlies, in the skies, and that's when he was struck down. As the Tsar Paras tried to bring death, Raisi, the leader of Iran, I'm speaking of the The physical leaders tried to bring death and destruction to Israel through the crashing, remember, of airborne objects. Death is brought to him through the same thing. And the skies are linked to angelic warfare. The crash didn't happen through any visible hands. Could it be that Michael, the angel of the heavenlies, protected Israel from the one who sought its destruction? Hi, I'm Jonathan Cahn, and I hope you were blessed with the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Feel free to share your reactions with your comments and how you were blessed, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.